God so wishes, your womb became a grave for what was alive. So I kept doing that. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, preaching here, go NCCF, I'll move here, move to campuses. I was doing what God sent me to do. Meanwhile, this work had started there. But in order for me to do that one faithfully, I had to hand over so that I could do that one. Now, is it reasonable in the current training we have as pastors today? Is there a provision for you to be in active pastoring and there's a congregation under you and you hand over? You are not old, you are not sick, you are not about to die. But you see, the reason why it is so is because there is a word that is alive inside. So I left the stage and I began to do the one he told me to do. Meanwhile, there was a time I was pastoring here and I felt so fulfilled. And then that instruction now came, and pastoring here was no longer as fulfilled as being on the field. So I had to do the needful to create an administrative system through which this one can be going and I can go about what the great one was asking me to do. All of those sacrifices that had to be put in place was because there was something alive in my heart. And from 2009, 12th of December, when I had that encounter, till 2019, that's 10 years, I was going the rounds. In 2019, on the 16th of August, I was in Uyo, just entering into the hotel that they booked for me for a meeting. And as I entered into the hotel, then Jesus now begins to speak again. That I have come to set you free, so that where I am, there also will my servant be. That's too vague. That kind of speaking is too vague. So I said, wait, where are you? That's the first question. Am I in bondage? What kind of bondage are you talking about? And all of them. So there are many. So if God speaks, don't claim you know what it means, and don't use your brain to interpret it. So the question was, where are you? So the great one now told me, did I not tell you that if you are faithful to the youth, I'll open the gates of the nations to you? As far as you are concerned, now I am in the nations. So what I want you to be freed from is your job, because you cannot hold that job and be jumping with me in the nations. So the jumping you did for 10 years was a training. But I didn't know then. But you know what? I did it with all my life. So I know I don't need to look back. There was nothing I didn't do for those 10 years. When the 10 years were accomplished, he now said it's on the field, in the nations, that I should go and resign. My job is a prison. Are you there? Something is living. And the time he asked me to resign was the time. But you know what? I had seen the faithfulness of God. And I knew that what I had experienced with God was not the best that God could give me. So I didn't consider that job and the prospects that he had at the time that God was asking me to leave it to be anything compared with the glory that shall be revealed in us. So I put in my resignation on the 5th of October. Because Jesus said, where was he? In the nations. Something was living. It means that the shelf life of the first encounter was 10 years, but I didn't know. You're not with me. The shelf life was for 10 years. That first word. It was valid for 10 years. Today now, like in Wadata, next month, the youth of one church invited me to come and do night vigil with them. Night vigil. Is it power night or something? It's a good invitation. But I don't have to, They say you come and for power. The youth, they want power. If it was a few years ago, that would have been on the front burner. You're not with me. But now they are wrong. If they want power night, they should come and call Pastor Tony. He has enough power for them for all the night. Do you understand? Now, you see, you are not understanding me. What you are hearing is that I'm saying that I'm a big preacher. No, you are not getting it. I am not above power night. But in my current emphasis, power night is not a priority. So I can avoid it. Because staying with my wife that night is more important than that power night. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Because the emphasis has shifted and I'm incubating something else now. I was invited to a place that every young preacher will feel is promotion for you to be invited to. And I told them, sorry, I can't come. They changed the date. I said, even this one is worse. This new date is worse. You know why? The emphasis for my life is not to be, that is not the emphasis. You see, if we look at your life and we know that there is something that you are incubating, we will see we will know it with your convictions, your lifestyle. That man was waiting for 60 years for the consolation of Israel. If you don't know what is his driving force, you will say, God has imprisoned him. God has dealt with this one. For 60 years, he needs to come again and again to the temple to see if that monarch that was spoken about will be brought in for dedication. And then you look at him and say, this is a mental disorder. And the guy is not concerned about the name. You call him, there is something he's incubating. And it is until God accomplishes that which he has spoken to him that the shelf life, the energy that word gives will now be taken away. It will dissipate. Meanwhile, just so that you know, he say a day with God is like what? 1,000. I say, I'm in the nations. It's all right. And you know, he never told me that I will need to be calling people to do programs for me. They will open the gates for you. So, we didn't link anything, we didn't do anything. Just from this place, all over the world, by himself. And when you come, you go to a mission field before the time, you might be loaded, but nobody will pay attention to what you are carrying. But when you come at the right time, it will look as if they were waiting for you to come. Even if you say ABC, someone's eyes, blind eyes will open. I was telling some people that it's not about what I preach. If I say A, B, C, someone will be healed. A, B, C. Alright? It's not ABC can produce. Because I have authority to go to the nation. Long ago, I wanted to go for some invitations I had. I'd already prepared my papers and things like that to go, and then I had a dream. And I saw that I entered into a certain country and we're in a long line giving our passports to the immigration people, and they will stamp you in. When my own time came, I gave them my passport and there was no visa on it. I said, Lord, this is not a good sign. What are you saying? He told me that the fact that you have money to buy ticket doesn't mean that I've given you a mandate to go represent me in that place you are going. That was how I stopped all those things. And I stayed back. Don't promote yourself. There will be opportunities for you to promote yourself before your time. Don't ever estimate yourself higher than the assignment God has given you.